This is a Mill Road Studios production. This is an Ash White production. Atko's in the house.
Atko's in the house.
Boom, 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 boom. Josh Atkinson, how are you, bud?
Ash, man, how are you?
Welcome back.
Thank you very much. It's good to be back.
How good to have you back in Australia.
Feels good. Feels good.
And in Atko's hut as well.
In Atko's hut, yeah. I forgot it was called Atko's hut for a little bit there.
I think it's still got it.
Names on the wall. I'm looking at it right now.
It's still on the muster point. You're still up the top there. So, yes, it's your hut, and we've waited a couple of years to get here. And I said that when you're back, we'd chuck down the last West End. So I think we had them for about 16 times, and it always run out. Wow. So we've grabbed a long neck today to celebrate your return.
A West End, a red tin's a red tin.
That's it. How was it, buddy? Good trip?
Oh, unbelievable. Best thing I've ever done, I reckon, so far. Yeah. Just amazing, really. Like nothing I've ever done before, so.
It is a wonderful theatre up there to play in as well, isn't it? It's top shelf. It's 120% quality.
Yeah.
Whether you're in Whistler or Black Game, they're both beautiful, aren't they? So it's hard to, I suppose, not be up because it's such a beautiful place.
Wow, yeah. You just look around and there's mountains for miles with snow on them, and you look down and there's lakes and all that jazz, and then everywhere you go, everywhere you're looking around really is just beauty and stuff like that. So it's hard to be down for sure.
Even up from Vancouver on the bus or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the most beautiful. That's the most scenic drive I think I've ever been on, to be honest. That
just keeps going, doesn't it?
Right next to the ocean, driving just no matter what time of day, really. Sunrise, sunset, during the day, it's just gorgeous.
And if you live in Adelaide, it's probably here to Victor Harbour away from where we live.
Yeah, about an hour and a half, 2
so
hours, yeah.
It's a pretty reasonable trip if you want to just go back to Vancouver and see a band or whatever. Just get out of Whistler or Blackcomb for a little bit just to clear your head. And
well, yeah, you have to sort of do that sometimes. Just go, and everyone comes to Vancouver, so it's good to go down there every once in a while and see what's going on down there.
Did you get to see any of the ice hockey?
Oh, it's my new favourite sport.
Isn't it a good sport?
It's gorgeous. I love it. So, yeah, got down there about 4 or 5 times. I wish I went more, but...
was it the Canucks?
The Canucks, yeah. The Vancouver Canucks, yeah. The atmosphere is just unbelievable. It's nothing. It's like you're on the hill at a Port Adelaide game. Like that gets pretty rowdy, but... they just go crazy over there for it. And I got into it, started following the finals and everything like that. So
bit of biffo too. It's good fun, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's pretty hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the fights there are unbelievable. You'd love to see one as well. Low key, when they drop the gloves, you kind of get a bit excited, and everyone goes, "Oh yeah, they're about to try to punch each other's lights out." So
it is incredible. And I remember when Reese and Mandy and I went there, and we were in New York seeing the Rangers play, and we thought there were 4 quarters and there was only 3 thirds, and we thought, God, this mob are leaving early. You know, they don't sort of support their team very well, but no, it is a good game. And
I didn't think when I first watched it, when I first went to watch it, I had low expectations. I thought, I'm not going to even be able to see the puck or understand the game. I've never watched it before, but it's great. I love it.
Guernsey? Did you get a Guernsey?
I didn't. I actually got scammed off Marketplace for one. We were going to go to, I think, a finals game, and I inquired about a couple on Facebook Marketplace. Had one guy sent him half the deposit for it. Thought it was legit, and then he never showed up in the mail, so... Got scammed off a jersey, but I might have to go back and buy one, to be honest, but add it to my collection. But
yeah, we'll have to get one sent over.
Oh, yeah. I think maybe Milne Road Studios one with the little hockey jerseys.
I reckon for sure.
Yeah.
There's a puck here. We got given a puck.
Oh, yeah.
The old
Oh, look,
the old left shoulder's a
with the
bit sore, but
with the Canucks on it as well. Where'd you get that one?
no, I don't know. I don't know whether we bought it while we're over there or
Yeah, right.
Mandy probably saw it in a shop and probably said, "Have you ever felt a puck before?" And I said, "No."
They're hefty things.
They
aren't
are heavy, aren't they? You
Yeah.
imagine them coming through the air at 130 kilometres an hour.
Straight at your face or something like that.
So
Do a bit of damage.
there'd be there'd have to be a couple 100 grams there, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah, decent,
So you can imagine
decent weight to them.
that getting slapped with a stick. That you sort of back the goalie a bit more, doesn't it? You know when he
You
kneels.
gotta respect the goalie if those things are flying at you. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. But Vancouver, pretty place, isn't it? It's got the beautiful harbour there, and you got the seaplanes that fly in and land, and you know
they're coming and going every 10 minutes. Like.
Yeah, and the rain when it does rain. There, I think the second season you had was down a little bit for rainfall, but the first season, I think you got a fairly hefty.
Yeah, well, down there you're sort of just below the
snow line, and
so
it
just
pisses
below the
with
slope.
rain,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
so it sort of gets a bit miserable down there sometimes, but that's what you get when you got all the snowfields are just up the road. So I guess you got to cop that, but it is still beautiful when the sun does come out. It's gorgeous, and they got some beautiful gardens and stuff like that. So
They got some big towers there too, haven't they? They got some
it
big
goes
buildings.
Goes
and
on forever, and yeah, nah.
It's a pretty place, and you know if you look from Australia, especially on the east coast, looking up, it's really only 13, 14 hours up the road, isn't it? It's not too far away.
Yeah.
You know, you haven't got another connector to go on to, say, London from Doha or something like that.
Yeah.
It takes you over the 20-hour mark. So it's pretty. It's a convenient place. I'd go back there in a heartbeat.
Vancouver, yeah. It is, yeah. That's where you sort of fly in and out of there. Any place you want to go from there, and especially if you're going to America and stuff. But it's handy having it there. Yeah, that's a good place.
Yeah, no,
I'd
it's
go back.
very good. After we left you the first season there, we went on a cruise up to Alaska
I did the same
from
thing,
Vancouver. Yeah, and it was gorgeous, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You know, to see all those little towns, and you got the Red Dog Saloon. Did you go into one of those?
Oh, we actually did.
Did
you
you?
go there as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went there as well. That was Dad was saying, oh, there's this saloon you've got to go to, and so we went in there just for a cheeky pint there, just to say we've done it. So yeah, that was good fun.
And they still got sawdust on the ground.
Yeah.
It's pretty full bore, eh? Like you can walk in and think, fucking hell, we're
transported into
150 years ago.
Yeah. No, we went there. That was a good little cruise. That one, the Alaskan cruise. I can say that I've been to Alaska now, and
I think that was one of the good ones.
yeah.
You know, I suppose the boat wasn't as big as the biggest ones we've been on, but it was a good size. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't a little boat.
Yeah, still pretty decent. Had everything you need really. Maybe not the kids' attractions and all that sort of stuff, but it was just me, my family, and my sister, so didn't really need all that jazz. So
No, you just needed the bars.
just get me a bar and a nice band to listen to, and
Plenty of acoustic guitars on there.
Yeah, on your way. Yeah.
We went on one just recently in the what's it called, Italian and Greek waters there, and they had a kid-free zone down the back. And that was
lovely.
That was cool.
Lovely.
You know, it was just full of adults, and they had a big pool down the back, and they had a a big TV that was about, I don't know, 6 meters by 6 meters.
LED,
Yeah. And it had 24/7 sports shows on it.
Oh, so you could go.
So you had Australian rugby, you had British rugby, you had cricket, you had all sorts of gear on there.
Yeah, right.
And it was awesome. You know, it was a lot of fun for a lot of time, and
Yeah.
I'd make sure I go down the back there about 2:30, 3 o'clock, and try to get through to 6.
Wow. Why not? When you can. That's what cruises are for, really.
It was good though, but no, they're good fun. You know, I think one of the good things about going with the family too is that poor old mum doesn't have to think about dinner.
Wow.
You know, don't have to think about breakfast or lunch.
There's food anytime you want, anywhere you want it. So, and you can get anything you want really. So, yeah, I love cruises. And they're pretty cheap as well. You can get some for what you get: accommodation, free food, and whenever you want it, and all the entertainment you get. Yeah, I'd go on a cruise in a heartbeat, I reckon.
Yeah, no, you get on plenty of that. They are value for money, I reckon.
For sure,
they're good. You know, you get a lot of people say, "Oh, don't you get bored? You know, doing the same thing?" You don't, because you've got a choice of bars, and you generally stop once you're in the area you want to be. You're generally on and off the boat every day or every second day,
something like that,
and pull into a new port, and you know there's a whole new world to look at again. You know, no, I think they're value for money. I think they're good.
Yeah,
we were on the Mediterranean Sea this time, so you don't have the big ocean swells.
So
because it's an inland sea.
Well, do you get seasick? Do you?
No.
Does Mandy?
No. I think Reese and Caitlin did.
Do they? Well, yeah, my mum gets pretty bad seasickness. She watches a Formula race car race, and she's
feeling woozy.
Yeah, feeling woozy. So she doesn't cope well with that, but the rest of us are fine.
So you took off 2 years ago from Adelaide. You boys were, how old were you then? 22, I suppose, were you?
I was 21.
21?
I was 21. The other two races would have been 22.
And we went round to Hemos that night. We had a few beers there with the mum and dads and all the kids ready for their big adventure.
Yeah, that was good. That was the first time we any of the parents met each other, or
it was a good night, wasn't it? It was we had a game of darts as well, and we were lucky enough to get up on that one, which was good. A good exit one.
Yeah.
But you and the two Reeses were gone, and a whole new world begun, didn't it?
Wow, yeah, pretty. Didn't think I'd even make it out of Adelaide ever in the last in the near future, but ended up sort of just sending it with two of my best mates and seeing what the world had to offer. Really, it was good fun.
And on the Big Bird, you flew up there, and I think you had a couple of days early, didn't you, just to go through the bullshit stuff.
4 days in, had to get
in
all
Vancouver.
Had to get all our phones and our Canadian banks sorted and all that. So,
did you get a few beers in of the afternoons every day?
Oh, we drank every day. The number one rule that the parents set was don't leave each other. And I reckon the first night we were all off in different spots with people we just met at the hostel, and we were just walking around Vancouver by ourselves going, what's going on here? We're drunk as shit.
At least the rule lasted 12 hours on the plane, didn't it?
Yeah, wow.
Cheers, we got a couple of Sapporos for round two. That's good. No, it was, so that one started, you had 4 days in Vancouver to get all your red tape shit done, and then eventually you obviously all got on the bus and headed up to Whistler. That would have been exciting, especially with the beautiful drive on the way up.
Yeah, well, we sort of you could tell how close we were getting to Whistler by the amount of snow that was forming on the road. So we started and just looking out the window to the left and seeing the ocean, and then it started just getting more and more snow next to the road, and we're going, we're getting close here. And then they dropped us off at this loop, the bus loop, and they just dropped us off and said, see you later. So we've just in this whole new world, and we're gone. This is where we're meant to be living for the next 6 months, and it was a bit overwhelming. We didn't even know where we were staying or what we were doing, so had to sort of work that out. But it was good. It was good getting off that thing, knowing that we're gonna do something for the next six months.
Did they land you out the front in that turnaround area where the buses pull up, and then
where all those
and then you don't know you're right in the village, but you're right at the beginning of the village.
You don't know you're in the village, do you? You sort of just go, where's the taxi loop? Where's the information desk? Where am I going really? But then
You
after
walk
a
up
couple of
25
days,
steps and
well,
you're over there, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
sort of in the village there.
yeah. Yeah, they just sort of drop you and you find your way, but it was good, new and exciting. Had to work it out ourselves, which is probably, we haven't really done that really. But yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah, I think it's so wonderful too when you do arrive there, and once you get a little bit of bearing, because we were down near the hospital there, so we didn't even know where the hospital was when we got there, and we had to go down to the left, and it was starting to snow, and I said to Mandy, "Hurry up! You know, it's starting to snow. We're going to find this place." And we didn't know where we were, and we went, where we ended up there, and it was a beautiful little place we had there. And
Yeah, we came the first night, didn't we? Over to
yeah,
you guys' house.
we got some local beers in a yellow cart, and had a ute or a car on the box. I can't remember, but we had a good night that night.
Yeah, that was good actually.
The Aussies were in town, so it was good to catch everybody up and see everybody. And
Went for our probably our first home cooked meal in a while. I think Mandy made spaghetti bolognese or something like that.
I think she did. Yeah, it was a good night.
It was good.
Good to catch everyone up. So I think it had only been maybe 4 months since your exit. When did you leave? November, December?
November the 9th, something like that.
So I think, it was about, say, 4 or 5 months before we got there. And, it didn't seem that long. And, we're all excited. And, and poor old Hemo, he did his shoulder early, didn't he?
He did, second day, poor bloke.
Dislocated the upper humerus there. And
yeah, well, it's pretty common. That's probably one of the biggest injuries is dislocated shoulders, just when you're learning and stuff like that, because you chuck your hands down when you fall over, and
out she comes.
Yeah, you keep moving forward, but your arms are on the floor. So he did that second day while he was I was actually at work, and it was just Reese and the two Reeses, and I get a text going, Hemo's done his shoulder, and I go, nah, it's his second day. The poor bloke's gone down. But yeah, he was out for a decent while with that one, because turns out. So I'm just spilling my beer here.
It's all right, mate. Plenty more.
The patrol had it out for 3 hours, so.
So all the ligaments were all sort of stretched.
He was doing damage by the second, really. So
man, oh man.
I reckon if it went back in after 10 minutes, then he might have been all right. But I think he did a bit of damage, so got a bit scared.
What's it like now? Have you heard from him regarding his shoulder, or?
I think he actually did some serious, I think he dented his bone or something like that. So I think he's actually had a bit of existing pain from that, ongoing pain. So, but I think he can do everyday tasks and stuff like that. It's just probably at more risk now.
Left or right? What was it? Active arm or?
Left, I think. So not his.
So not his wiping ass one.
Yeah, not his wipe. Yeah, he could still go to the toilet, I think. But yeah, he's all right now.
So that first season, you had reasonable snow. You're all working up at the roundhouse at that stage. Tell everyone about the roundhouse. We got up there a few times. You got us some good meals.
I got a couple of opinions on the roundhouse here, but the roundhouse is the biggest. It's the largest and quickest serve restaurant in North America. So. And the highest elevation, I think. So we're just serving thousands of people a day in peak winter. So all us three boys were in the kitchen, so had our little chef blacks on, and every person that came in, we had to take their order and get them food pronto. Otherwise, they get mad at us and don't tip, especially the Americans. No offense to the Americans on the podcast, but that was good fun to start with. We had a real good crew at the start, our first season, while we were all up there. Good experience as well, being at one of those big mass places. I'm sure none of the boys, hadn't really worked at a place like that before. It was sort of, we hadn't really done anything like that. Food and beverage sort of.
And you're dealing with the public, aren't you? It's fairly, it is different. They're arseholes.
And at a resort in, the biggest and best resort in Canada, you're getting all walks of life there, and they're all sort of rich, hoity-toity people. So you get your characters and stuff like that. But it was good experience. We had a good cruise, so can't really complain about the first season. But yeah.
Did you have seasonal people that you may see a few times during the year?
Yeah. Well, you get all the
locals from Vancouver.
All the locals, yeah. You sort of can pick them out as well. They know what they're doing.
Treat you a bit better probably too than
they know what they're doing, and they've been there before. They know what the deal is, and then you can really tell the tourists from the people that are there for 3 days over the weekend that have no idea what's going on, and you'd be surprised how many dumbos you get up there, like, just got no idea what a line is, like, just trying to push to the front and grab everything, and, but it was good. Yeah, good experience up there.
You're doing a few hours every day up there, weren't you?
Yeah, well, we had to work full time to secure staff housing, so we're doing 5 days, 8 or 9 hours, basically, 8.5 hours up the top of the mountain. So that's the full. Had to get there, the full operation of the mountain. So we had to get there 6:30 in the morning or 7 in the morning before any of the other people get up, and then you wait for the customers to come up, and then you got to wait for them all to leave, and then you got to go back down the gondola. So yeah, long days, but it's worth it.
Yeah, the gondola's pretty good too, isn't it? Like, it's all covered up. I know you get sick and tired of seeing it every day,
Well,
I was a tourist there, so
sort of. It's pretty cool when you're travelling to work in Adelaide here. You might be working in this city and it's the same route every day. I guess when it's the same route every day, but you in a gondola looking at the mountains, it sort of, you sit back every time and you just go, wow, this is my life.
It's a good view.
This is my life right now.
It is a good view.
Pretty crazy, but yeah, every day got a little bit tiring, but.
So the roundhouse was at mid station, or
No, the top.
the top, and then there was another
Then there's
that would take you to the summit, wasn't there? Which was over to the
right.
Yeah, I'm not sure which way
Depends
that
which way you're
points
looking
west,
at
I
it.
suppose. But the roundhouse, and it was a significant building up there. You had sort of dual access from the gondola side, and then you could exit down the other side as well, where you had the peak to peak.
Yeah. Well,
Blackcomb was just as. I enjoyed Blackcomb a little bit better because it was probably at times a little bit quieter than Whistler.
well, That's the trade off you get over there. You're not working at the big thing, but the Blackcomb, just the mountain in general, is a bit quieter. Everyone sort of comes for Whistler, but you get Blackcomb. But so
I remember Mandy dropping a ski on one of the rides just from the roundhouse back down to the bottom.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of light snow, so it was a little bit icy, a little bit powdery, and she couldn't get the ski back on. And I reckon it took us a good 30 minutes to get the ski back on with a bit of a hissy fit, and we got ourselves together. And then,
no offense to Mandy, she had a little bit of trouble, didn't she, when she was skiing with her bung knee. So.
And then down the crowd came, and boy, I was saying before, you can't just stop.
Nah.
Because you need to know what's behind you, what's in front of you, what's to the side, and then you got to navigate where you're going as well. So it was very, very busy, when you had 100 skiers on that one track, and that probably wasn't peak that we saw.
Well, you got wouldn't
So,
have seen peak, but it gets pretty crazy at somewhere like that.
And they were good level. They were good level ski tracks. They weren't just black beginner shit. Where you could just take your time. You had to really, if you had to stop, you had to make sure that there wasn't a guy coming down 100 mile behind you.
Yeah.
Was going to clean you up, so it was pretty hard. You always had to think, always had to be on guard.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a good they've got a bit of everything. Like they do have some really like easy runs, and then they've got like some pretty hardcore stuff. And then you get everything in between. Just depends which way you go, really. You just hope you go the right way, to be honest.
You had a couple of times
Gets a bit confusing.
Up the top there where there's less trees up the top, and you had a few sausage sizzles and a few beers up there, didn't you? And then skied or boarded back home.
Yeah, that was.
Well, there was a couple up there. Talk about those ones for a little bit.
Well, they call it Australia up there, so 70% Australians. So the biggest days on the mountain are Australia Day, well, over here, the 26th of January, and St. Paddy's Day. So basically everyone...
Excuse me.
They have security down the bottom on those days, and you have to sort of, that there's going to be security, so you get your drinks up early, and the people that are working on like some of the what are they called, the snowmobiles and stuff, they bring up some decks, some like DJ decks early and stuff like that a couple of days before, and you get your friends to hide some drinks places and stuff. There's basically about 600, 700 people that all try to get the day off, like all us workers try to get the day off, find somewhere out of bounds, basically set up for the day, make a big jump, all line the jump and just drink piss and...
So it was a fair day.
Oh yeah, you're not skiing away from that sober, that's for sure. And then because you're off the ski boundary, the snow patrol can't do anything really. Like they technically can't tell you off for drinking or anything, but they sort of know about it every year, so they help you get down sort of and guide you.
That's good though, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's appreciation also.
Well,
I think.
We respect that. Like, and they come and they say, "Oh, you guys got to get out soon," and we go, "Yeah, no worries." Like, so everyone's sort of
get these fucking Aussies down the mountain, please.
I feel sorry for them. Like the amount of shit that they would have to deal with us coming down. There's honestly like 600 people coming down the mountain, all pissed off their head just after drinking all day, throwing snowballs at each other and just walking around
with a gut full of piss. Yeah.
I remember my first was St. Paddy's Day was my one. I didn't get Australia Day off the first one, and I remember I had a backpack on, had all my empties in there, had a couple, like a jacket and a couple more beers, I reckon, and I was just legless. I couldn't. When you find it hard to walk out the pub when you're legless anyway, stumbling around. Imagine trying to snowboard down a mountain when you've got to turn your legs and do that. I was falling down every 10 metres. I reckon I was one of the last ones down the mountain. All the boys were texting me going, "Where are you?" And I go, I'm coming. Didn't know how far away I was from the bottom, but I made it down eventually, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not doing that again." And then obviously did it the next year, so
had to be done, didn't it?
Had to be done.
It's an unwritten rule, as scary as it is. I just diversing a little bit. I remember when you first got there and the roads were icy for the first time, not snowy, but icy. Yep. And I remember a video came back on the phone of Reese going up the road, and I know the bears are in hibernation back then, but you can imagine the bear just rubbing his hands together, going, "Oh well, this prick will be down the hill in a minute backwards," and to see Reese just almost pass out and slide backwards down the hill. You imagine the bear just sharpening up his blades, thinking, "Oh well, here comes my meal."
They very easily could. They just slide it into the mouth. Really, I remember that video of Reese just walking down the hill, and there's just no possible way you can get down normally. You're sort of just walking inches at a time, trying to just stand on your feet, and then as soon as you go over, there's no stopping you. You're just sliding down that mountain until you hit a tree or.
And it's cruel too, isn't it? It's hard, even if you land on the side of your bum there, it hurts.
It hurts, the bruises.
And it's ice hard.
Yeah. Nah,
but has to be done.
it has to be done.
Mandy and I were lucky enough both to see where you were living there, and you know, as primitive as they were, it was still good enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, with working, you know, 5-6 days a week.
It's what you expect, and it's all
Just a Besser blockhouse with a window in it, you know, 2 or 3 stories high. And, you know, I used to love the photos that would come back with the Aussie flag in the window. And, you know, Reese or yourself would take a video of the slow-mo of the snow floating down. I used to think,
it is
fuck,
pretty,
I want to be there so bad.
It is pretty special when you got the snow in the background and you're just looking out the window and you've never experienced it like as normal as that is over there. You know, we're coming from Adelaide where it doesn't snow, so you looking out the window, it's just dumping snow, and you got all your boys just there eating dinner, and you just look out. It's pretty special. When we hung the Australia flag up, had the old ploughed scan board from Big Ash.
Plough did well there, didn't it? It really was good timing, that one come along. Well, you know, with you guys going away.
We tried to get it as famous as we could. We just broke ski bums, so we couldn't keep the website going, to be honest. But Ash, went bigger than we expected, to be honest. Ash just gave us a jumper each on departure. Didn't really think anything of it, and then he said, "All right, let's see if we can get this going." Reese, man, as he does, gets the website going. And
Derek the mannequin still got the original.
I did see that. It looks very nice.
The snowboarding Elvis up there. He's still one of the big ones. Yeah. That was one of the early ones there. And
we sold a couple, so
it was good that night in the Hilton, wasn't it? You know,
I sent you that video, that photo the other day of
when we walked in. That's where Justin Hopper. You know, we've just come back from Justin Hopper as well, and I remember you coming up saying, "Ash, Justin Hopper's from England. You have to talk to this guy."
I think I met him on the pool table, I reckon, and I said, "I reckon you'll like my mate's daddy, Ash, man. Get talking to him." I think we let you two go for a couple of hours, and then
still going today, isn't it?
Turns out you're going to doing live shows and all that. Lovely.
Yeah. How amazing, a couple of years later, we're there in Liverpool in the new Brighton radio in the Wirral with Mandy. You know, she spoke better than anyone else. You know, she was very good at it. And he had 4 Australian songs. I think it was Men at Work, In Excess, Kylie Minogue, and, well, I can't even remember what the other one was. But it was so good. It was so humbling. And then, you know, just to walk around there, and you got treated like a local, so you got to talk to all the publicans, and you know, even if you didn't go back to their pub, you went into their pub and he introduced everyone to us. So that was pretty cool. But you know, if you look at that all started up there as well.
Wow, yeah.
That opened the door.
Yeah, pretty crazy, hey.
Now we got his magazines here, and
looking at them right now. Yeah.
We're in the next one.
Liverpool.
So we got a page to ourselves in the new book coming. So.
Yeah, right.
Celebrities for 15 minutes.
Mate, love it. Unreal.
But that was all to do with Whistler, wasn't it? That was a great night there. That night we just played 8 ball. We had the stickers everywhere, and
I remember the
stickers on the lights, stickers on the 8 ball table.
You gave us a fair few stickers, so we tried to see how many we could get around the place that would stay there. I think that one on the pool table is still there.
Still there, is it?
The pussy ploughed one, the red and the pink and
the girls did like
one,
the pussy ploughed ones, didn't?
Someone, one of my friends has still got it on a drink bottle to this day. Yeah. I forgot I even gave it to her, but she's walking around with ploughed on a drink bottle right now in Whistler. So.
That's gorgeous, isn't it?
Good.
I think it's good. I think for a little old South Aussie venture that. It's amazing to see how many Aussies are in Whistler.
Oh,
it's incredible.
You don't really realise until you actually get there, and you go hang out with a group of people, and you meet them for the first time, or you meet mates of mates, and you go, "Oh, hey, how you going? Where are you from?" And they go, "Oh, Sunshine Coast," or "Oh, I'm from Perth," and you're like, "Oh, wow, there's actually a fair few bloody Aussies here." Oh.
Sunshine Coast,
all doing the same thing, and you thought, "Wow, I thought I was special moving away from where I am." But half the people are doing the same thing in Australia, really. But Yeah, you meet some good people.
Yeah, it's good to have that that familiar face, isn't it? You know, an Aussie will stand out hand over fist anywhere in the world. You'll hear someone say, "Hey, mate," and you'll go, "Oh God, that's an Aussie." You know, like we were in the Greek Isles in Santorini, and Manny and I had booked in to have this twilight dinner that looked out over the ocean there and the boats, and of course there was an alteration to the itinerary from the ship company, and we'd missed it, and we didn't change the booking here, so we were a day late, and we rock up, and a couple of young girls came up to us and said, "Yeah, how can we help you?" And we said, "Oh, we got a booking," and I saw their face go a bit weird, and I said to Manny, "I don't reckon they got our booking."
Yeah.
Sure enough, 30 seconds later, she walks back and says, "Yeah, you were meant to be here yesterday."
Yeah, right.
And Mandy goes, "Yeah, I reckon you're right." You know, and they were right. They weren't wrong. And they said, "Well, we haven't got a table for you. You've missed out. You were meant to be here yesterday." And I think Mandy had paid a $60 credit for drinks or whatever. And she said, "Well, how about we just sit here and we'll use up our $60 voucher?" And they said, "No, that was for yesterday." So they didn't even honour that.
They didn't, they? Yeah.
Nah, they were pig ugly, actually. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
They were as cold as
thought
you
that-
know what, you
yeah.
know. And
I would have thought they would at least. Not you don't have to have dinner or anything, but you can just
sit
down.
on this table. You're still going to see roughly the same amount, you know, like
Yeah.
with the sun going down, and you'll see the boats. And
Yeah, right.
and I said, "Look, Manny, we'll just have a drink here, you know, for now." And they brought out a list of beers. I didn't even know what any of the beers were, and I said, "Look, fuck this. Let's go. Let's go. There's nothing here for us. I don't really feel that welcome either. Let's just go. There's a place down. We know four buildings down that's got a similar view. We may not get." And sure enough, you know, we walk out, get down there. We've got an 85% view of what we had there. And we met another couple from Sydney there, because I could hear this Aussie. And I said, "You're an Aussie, where are you from?" And he said, "Sydney." So in the end, we'd had 6 or 7 pints with them. So in the end, we're Racha by the time we're ready to go, because we had to be down the mountain. And it's pretty steep to get down. Yeah. There's a donkey track that takes people up and down, and there's a gondola from the water's edge that takes you straight up. Yeah. And in the end, we walked down, because the line to get down on the gondola is
too long.
You got to line up for fucking 80 minutes, 90 minutes. I said, "Nah.
No way.
Read that. We can
walk down.
Walk down's right, because you're not pumping the heart real hard, you know. You just your calves are a bit tight. You might, you know, sludge a little bit on a bit of Donkey Kong somewhere on the way down, but by the time you got down the bottom, you knew you'd done 20-odd thousand steps, so you felt pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then we ended up going back on the boat, because you still got all your restaurants there waiting for you when you get back. That was probably 9 o'clock at night.
Oh well.
And
that's the best thing about it. You can
few more Sapporos.
You can walk in and say, "Oh, I want this now."
And that's the best thing of the cruises. We touched base on it earlier. It's you don't need somebody to make a decision. What are we having for tea tonight?
Oh, no.
You take that out of the equation, you can almost love your partner. You know, like, because you know, every night it gets to that point. You know, what's for dinner? Fuck dinner. You know, I'm not in the mood for dinner right now.
You want Chinese? I want Mexican. You can have Chinese, and I love Mexican.
So good place. Whistler and Blackcomb are very professional places, and
for sure.
we know the Olympics have been there, and they are of that ilk. Yeah, a bit like a James Bond film. They're of that good quality, and once you walk into that main street and you're walking up towards the gondolas there, what about the bars there when you get off the gondola and you got all the fires burning and the tables, and I forget what that was called. What was that?
The big ones, the Longhorn Saloon. It's called. So we call it Longies.
Did you get in there a few times?
Got in there a couple of times. That one, if I'm being dead honest, if it's a bit of a tourist trap, it makes the most money in
it's
the whole
high
of
bucks.
Whistler. So us at the top of the mountain, we're serving thousands of people. They're earning more than us. So we were the second highest at the Roundhouse, and that Longies was the first.
Yeah, righto.
And when you see the size comparison, you go, how are they making more money? But then when you realise how much you're spending there to get in peak winter or peak summer to get a table there is a couple $100 to book a table.
Wow.
Then you get sort of, it's all about the theatrics there. So you've got the DJ decks right there. You can literally, you get down the bottom of the mountain once skiing, and it's staring at you in the face.
Oh, it is a horn court, isn't it? Like it is. It's.
There's just people everywhere up on. You can dance on the tables. So I reckon every time we walk past after a shift, it was just like everyone on top of the tables dancing to the DJ, or the smoke machines, everything, and so all the like celebrities and stuff go there. It actually got voted third best, top 3 best appraised places in the world. So obviously there's some in France that are up the mountain, but this has won third for the last couple years. So it's pretty legit. It's a very good play. You have a lot of fun. Like we went there for a couple of DJ events and stuff like that, and it's
if money wasn't an issue,
money wasn't a thing, yeah.
And you wanted to be that whole high roller type setup.
Yeah, you'd go there.
You'd go there, wouldn't you?
Well, we've seen celebrities there, and like NBA players and actors and stuff. You walk past sometimes and you see them in there, and people with a lot of money go there. But that's not even that's one of the places that you can go to, and then there's about 5 places strung across just when you get down the mountain on Whistler that are just all in eyes view, really, that you can go, and it's like just that praises, just people drinking, and just the vibe.
I love that environment. I do.
The vibes there are just unbelievable.
And I can imagine you in it as well, and the boys.
Well, I worked at one right next to Longhorns. I worked at the pub there, so I was in the kitchen. So I've had my fair. I know how busy it is, how busy it gets, and just working in the kitchen, we're going crazy in there, and then you get the drinks. Like on top of that, the bartenders would be just going, "What is this? Like this is just too hectic." But so much fun, yeah.
It's all about fun. When we were in Cornwall, we flew back from Dublin with Caitlin and Andy and Mandy, and his mum and dad, Jeff and Helen, own the like a general store there in Ports Catho, which is a port there in Cornwall. And when Tom Cruise was filming Mission Impossible 4 or whatever it was, they had a scene in there, not in the actual cafe, but in the actual area.
Yeah.
And apparently Tom Cruise walked up into their shop and asked for a pasty. And one of the girls at the counter said, "Hey, there's this bloke this bloke's come in thinking he's Tom Cruise, you know," and it was Tom Cruise come in for a pasty.
Yeah, right.
So isn't it funny? It doesn't matter where you are really in the world, you know, you sort of come across, at the end of the day, they're just normal people. They're just, you know, he's come up for a pasty and his time out, you know, to walk. And to walk around that little town was just to die for. It was, you could go back 250 years, you know, if you saw the old fishermen walk up the main street, all the buildings were sort of that chalky white, and you know, they work 7 days a week. They're working their butts off. You know, they're our age as well, and but to live there, beautiful. It's, you know, such a different place to Adelaide. You know, you try to explain Adelaide to most people in the world, and you sort of say, "Oh, it's a quiet little place. South Road's a bit fucked up, but
don't really understand
the boring company's meant to be coming here soon and digging some more holes for us to get the north-south corridor done."
Yeah.
But you know, at the end of the day, also, when you do get home, even for that, you go again, that you realise how lucky we are here to get into a car without hopping on a freaking underground or a bus or a train or whatever, just to get from A to B is very easy here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you don't really realise it until
No.
you go travelling and
that's right. You know,
in places like
London's
that.
got 10 million people there. You know, Paris has got 10 million people there.
Yeah.
Everything's underground. Everything's in different languages from time to time, and you
Yeah.
think, fucking hell, how easy
Yeah,
is
you
Adelaide?
do appreciate that once you complain about it in the moment, but when you get
Yeah,
back here,
it does.
you go,
It's a good leveler to come back here and go, all right, yeah, it's pretty easy to get around here. It is a lucky place. But, you know, I've always said with Caitlin also that she's been overseas since she was 17. She's 27 now, whatever she is now. She's been gone for a decade. There's no way in hell you could ever come back here and settle because it's too neat. It's too quiet.
Yeah, I've only been away for 2 years, but we were talking about this earlier in the car on the way here. Just sort of, you get that travel bug, and not even that you have to be travelling constantly, but just when you get back here, you go, yeah, right.
Now what? What am I doing?
What
Walk up Anstey's Hill? Does that do the same thing?
Nah, not as much as snowboarding down Whistler, you know. So yeah, no, I get where she's coming from and what
where we're all at.
We're all at. But
itchy feet now. I've got it as well, which is just crazy. But no, it's look. That's what it's about. You know, you've been over there. You've seen it. It's now opened up 1,000 doors for you somewhere.
Yeah.
And you know, you've only been back how long? A couple of weeks.
Yeah, I reckon it's about 4 weeks now.
Is it really already?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
I remember Reece saying you were back, which is pretty cool to have you back. But yes, it goes pretty quick. Camaraderie with the new people, the people that you met from Perth. There was a guy called Matt at one stage early on, wasn't there? Matt, was he from Melbourne or?
Oh, Matt, yeah.
Yeah, very early.
Yeah, our roommate, yeah. He was our first, he was our first roommate in the room. Us, me, and there's rooms of 4 there. So we, obviously we had us 3, so we planned it that we were all in the same apartment. So we got there first. We were hoping no one was there. So we had about 3 days by ourselves, and we were like, this is sweet. And then got home one day, there's this random sitting there, and we sort of felt bad for him because obviously we all know each other. The boys, we're getting along all right, and there's this random guy, so we introduced ourselves. He's Matt he's from Sydney. Turned out to be the best bloke.
He was a cool guy.
Yeah. He only stayed for the same amount of time as Hemming, so only about 6 months. He had a girlfriend still in Sydney, so he went back there. But yeah, no, he was good, but felt bad for the bloke because he had to deal with us, to be honest, for the 6 months, all running around the flat, going crazy and stuff like that. But no, yeah, Matt was a legend. Shout out to Matt Rivetto was his name.
Rivette, how are you, bro? No, that's good. I did hear good stories about that. It is a brotherhood, though, isn't it? You know, whether they're male or female.
Became so close with him as well. Like, you sort of, they become like your family when you're living together.
You bleed with them, don't you? Yeah. You know, you're there from farting in the toilet to fucking overcooking your dinner and stinking the fucking exhaust fan out, or whatever.
Only when Reece White cooks, really.
He loved his cheese. What were they?
Oh, what did he have?
Cheese fucking something or other.
Oh, he loved his cheese toasties, but I don't know if that was pre-made. He was planning that one, but that's all he made, really. But
it's one of those packet ones you just chuck in the hot water in it.
Oh, those
Yeah.
mac and cheese and
Max.
Something like that.
But the camaraderie's good. You know, in your second season, we talked about it before, is that you then had a new group of people.
Well, yeah, because
spit out some of these guys' names.
Oh, because of the nature of the work, seasonal work. So you get people coming, and the beauty of it and the pain of it really is you're meeting all these people, and you spend 6 months with them, becoming real close, and they become one of your best friends, and then they just dip off back home, and they're living on the other side of the world. So obviously the first Reece left pretty early, and then Whitey stayed for another year, I reckon, with me, and then he chuffed off, so I was by myself. So then I already had some friends from work and stuff that I was with, and there was a group of about 20 boys, I reckon. They all were doing the same thing, so we got together, and there's some boys. Shout out to Shauna Goma, Cam Mack. Who else you got?
There's a couple. Keep going.
There's a couple. We got Axel. Axel is his name. Seth Cheatham.
Got some good first names there, haven't
Well,
you?
yeah, Axel, Seth, yeah. Oh, there's actually too many. I can't even think about who they were. But yeah, no, they were just some of the best boys. They just had the best times with them, like going over to their house and stuff. But you learn to sort of just, because I didn't have the other boys, let they become your family and stuff like that. So meeting them, yeah. And now that I know them, I've got friends all over Australia now. So I reckon I've got one in every state. Maybe not the Northern Territory, but I've got, I reckon, about 4 or 5 boys in every state now that I could just go have a pint with at the drop of a hat.
Ah, look, I say fuck oath a lot. To me, that's exactly what it's about. You know, you make these. It's a bit like going to war. It was a bit like when we were when I was working at Clarkson's years and years ago, and we were working when the first Desert Storm war was on, and we were 21, 22 like you guys. So we probably thought we were going to war. You know, it was scary. You know, you had a camaraderie of guys that, you know, we were doing high-rise buildings and, you know, yeah, we were in the zone ready to go to war sort of thing. And you make those lifelong friends then that even when you get to nearly 60, you're talking to them like I'm talking to you. You know, it's exactly the same.
Well, yeah, those boys, like, I didn't really realise. I've had some mates here before I went that I've known for 10 odd years, and then I get there and I'm talking to someone that I've met for 3 months, and I'm going to him, I've made better connections with you than some of the boys that I've known for 10 odd years, like, and just, I think it's just because you're so close and stuff that obviously helps, but then you sort of, you realise it and you go, wow, yeah, these are some of my brothers for life, and like I'm going to make an effort to go see you boys every year and in Australia and like stuff like that. So yeah, you don't really realise until it's there, but they're pretty special relationships and stuff like that. And especially some of the boys, like from a couple of boys from Perth, that Shauna Gomer and Cam Mack and stuff, they just, I'd same like you, I don't want to go that far literally, but I'd like die for them in a way. Like,
sure,
you know, you'd do anything for them, like no matter what it is. So
I as a male too, I really, that floats my boat. You know,
that's one of the most special things.
Camaraderie is, you know, you bleed for these guys. You know, you've been through the, you know, people die in the snow. It's not guaranteed. You know, Reese told us plenty of stories of, you know, blokes that had lost their wives down the tree pits. You know, where the snow just collapses and they suffocate. You know, it's
well, yeah, there is actually a fair few deaths in the snow, and like just sort of happens. It happens out of nowhere. You can just make one wrong decision and stuff like that. No, your friends could be taken away from you. So yeah, you enjoy it while it's there, and do anything for them. Yeah.
But that's cool. No, that was one thing I did want to touch base on with you, because it's, as a man, I think that's, and a female as well, I think it's very important that you sort of seed those paddocks early, and you know you go to war with these guys, whether it's, you know, picking people up out of the snow or making sure they're safe, you know, getting on to gondolas and off of gondolas and making sure that everyone's safe, where they're eating and getting, just everything. That's what you're doing. And, seasonal work. The other thing I was going to talk to you about was there is a dead zone during the year where the maintenance does cut in and, the mountain does slow up for a few months there, doesn't it? Where
dead season, yeah.
The dead season, I might have called it a dead zone or whatever it was.
I know what you mean.
But
the old dead season,
you saw two of them, so
killers. Well, you get in between both seasons, so between winter and summer, and then summer and winter for the first year, and then I had one more dead season from from winter to summer, I think. Yeah, so I had 3 dead seasons. Those things are just killers. They're terrible.
How much does it slow up?
Oh, it's basically just locals, really. Like, because everyone sort of Whistler's on people's bucket lists. Or people have been planning to go to Whistler for years or something, so they come in the tourist times when it's the best snow or it's the middle of summer. So
mountain bike riding and
people. So those seasons, it's only maybe a month or maybe the one from summer to winter is about 2.5 months. So that one's the longest one, but they don't last too long. But for the locals there that are working and doing seasonal work, everything just dies off. Your shifts get cut and everything like that. So you got to plan.
Compromise.
Well, you got to plan to either go away on a holiday, save enough money to get out of there, or have enough money to survive there while you got nothing going on. So
now you're a pretty self-taught musician.
Here we go.
I'm not going to throw you in the deep end here, but you did get by with your music.
Yeah.
Did you spend some time in the pubs on the piano or guitaring or?
I had a little stint over there for not as much as I would have liked. I reckon I probably could have put myself out there a little bit more. But I did have a stint over Christmas, New Year. I was playing for 2 weeks at the Hilton Hotel. They were doing like a jazz bar, piano bar, Christmas vibe between over Christmas and New Year. So I applied for that through a friend. Ended up getting the job. They didn't even hear me play before I started, but they trusted me. So grateful for that. Yeah, played for 2 weeks straight, basically every night after working 5 days a week. I'd go straight from that job to play piano at the Hilton, just Christmas vibes and stuff like that, which was one of the best opportunities. Honestly, I've never been able to play piano for money, so that was the first opportunity I had to actually earn some money playing piano, which was really special. Had all my mates come and support that
with their Ploughed shirts on.
Wow, a couple of them. But yeah, no, that was pretty special. I wish I did probably took the music more by the horns, and I had a couple of mates that were gigging every 2 weeks in pubs that said that they'd have me up if I could find a piano and stuff like that they'd have me up. So, but I sort of just brushed them off in a way. But I said, I'll do it one day, and never really got it. So I sort of wish I did that, but still got the opportunity to like play in a place like that, a big tourist town like that. Got a couple of big tips.
It's a bit hard to get the piano in the suitcase on the way home too, isn't it? Wow. So that was probably one of the big deterrents, more than anything else.
Got a couple of big tips from some tourists and stuff. Took a couple of requests from some Americans, and we had a big moment where we played Piano Man, obviously the classic piano song. Played a big Piano Man with about maybe like 30 to 40 people
excellent
in the pub, and they're all around the piano, and I'm playing them.
And said, "Man, what are you doing here?"
yeah, that one went off, that was pretty special, honestly.
Isn't it good anywhere in the world too, where you hear the Piano Man and
Yeah, well,
everybody knows it?
Well, and they requested some other like Elton John and stuff, and I had that in my repertoire, so they were quite happy that they just came up and said, "Oh, can you play this?" And I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll give it a shot." And then
how cool is that?
did that, and
That's
they
gorgeous.
were pretty happy. So I was pretty happy with that as well. You know.
I'm going to give that a cheer as well.
Thank you.
No, well done. I remember when we did that live crossover to you. Around that time, I had Reese back here for a little while.
Well, yeah.
And he might have been back for maybe 2 or 4 weeks, and he was gone again. And I said, "Oh, we've got to give Atko a call. We've got to make sure he's all right."
I do remember that.
That was my number one feeling as a not a parent to you, but a very close.
Yeah, wow.
You know, I'm sort of like a parent to you,
Yeah,
but at the same breath, my concern was your mental health. You know, while you're away and.
Well, it was just me and Reese at that point, and he jetted off back here. I think, was it it was with Debbie.
Yeah. It might have only been halfway through the year. It might have been June, was it? Or
I think
May?
Oh, you came back for Nathan's wedding.
Oh, that was in the
That's
December.
What he came back for or something like that. But I was alone in the flat at that point. And you guys were like, "Oh, I'd love to get you on the podcast." I was like, "Well, I'm doing nothing tonight."
That was pretty cool. Yeah, you played some tunes on the piano for us or the guitar.
Gave him a little stint on the piano. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
Loved it. Huh?
And I thought, oh, we got to give him a ring. We've got to get hold of him, which we did, which was, very humbling at that stage. That, I suppose, in this day and age, you can just dial up the phone and get somebody on face value, Soon they'll have something out where you'll have a touchpad and I'll be able to touch your hand. Imagine what they get up to, once that shit gets out there.
Yeah.
But I'm sure that's because every government's 25 years in front of where we are now. I'm sure they got touchpads that are linked to your phone where
probably
you could put your needle in there and on the other side you'd get the negative print, you know what I mean? I'm sure it's coming.
Something like that.
Or there'll be some sort of IT or IA hybrid that's on the other side. Half of it's out the wall and half's on the other side.
Eventually.
There'll be something, but no, it was good to give you a call and just make sure you're right, because that was always high on my list anyway. Because 3 young blokes going away. It is for 2 years. It's a long time. It's a short time in your life, but it always has the possibility also to go wrong, there might be something or a girl gets in the way or you know what I mean, you know how it works, and luckily all you boys have got right through it. You're all good mates still.
Oh, yeah.
And, forever buddies, and
even
to have that link, it's just fantastic.
Reese obviously found a girl over there, and there was just me and him at that point, and so you think in your head, you go, oh, well, that means it's just me and Reese, we're just hanging out every day like that, and then you introduce a girl, you go, oh, how's this gonna go? But for me and Whitey, it was nothing ever changed, and that's probably kudos to Debbie and stuff. She sort of just fitted right in, and those two get on unreal. So it was nothing ever happened. But yeah, even when they went away, just waiting for them to come back, both of them, and stuff like that. Me and Reese's relationship never changed as well, which is just a testament to that, to our relationship in general.
I think so. I think it was probably never ever really tested either, but it can go wrong.
100%.
Someone says something and you take it out of text, or it's said out of text, and then all of a sudden, you could lose a friendship over something so fucking trivial. And life period is too short to
do that with.
Yeah, I always say to people, wherever I go, remain friends. Friends is everything, family's everything. Those two go together like peas and carrots. It's you don't make friends to lose friends.
Yeah.
you make friends to remember when. You know, that's the joy you get out of life.
That's beautiful.
Especially when you get older too. You know, when you're maybe not as traveling as much, and you don't get as much time to probably go and see the people you want to see. And
Well, and you sort of you had heaps of friends when you're young, and people are all doing their own thing. You got to sort
everyone's caught up with life. You know, life is busy.
You got to treasure those moments that you do have and stuff like that. Yeah, no.
But these things make you stronger, and you know
100%.
I'm glad you guys did that trip, because it will only make you stronger. And when you get to 60 or 70 or 80, God bless you, that you've got all those stories to talk about.
100%.
Remember when we got drunk up the top of the mountain, you know, and snowboarded down? And
There's too many stories in there.
do you remember when I stacked it at 90 kilometres an hour, Reese? Yeah, I remember.
I do remember that race. Shout out to you. I'm glad you didn't die that day.
That was when we saw a video. I said to Manny, "Nah, there's got to be some fallout on that one."
We were gunning for a new record there. We were gunning for. We wanted to hit 90 k's an hour. We only hit 89. We were just gunning. By the end of the season, we wanted to do 100 k's an hour, but it wasn't going to happen.
That's fucking killer, isn't it? That's pretty quick.
When you think about it, you're going down a mountain, just a man-made, well, not a man-made mountain. You're going down a mountain, and you're going 90 clicks an hour, and you're on just a little bit of wood that's controlled by the way you move. Any wrong move, sort of, yeah. If you're going at that speed, it's just deadly.
And then the sun comes over, and
it's just deadly.
Everything's white. You can't even see the floors.
Yeah, but that's sort of why you do it, isn't it? You go for the adrenaline. You go for the.
You've got to come back with a few scars. There's got to be some stories. I remember Dad's mate always used to talk about being on an aircraft carrier, and he had a big cut across his leg, and he always used to tell us young kids that when the trapdoor went up, he got his leg caught in it, which would have ripped his leg off. And we said, "Oh, really? You survived it?" You know, and he probably had an operation on his leg. You know, it's nothing to do with an aircraft carrier, but you know, the stories came out, and
for sure.
You know, I think that's. And I've always said to Reese and all you boys that you've got to have some stories to tell.
100%.
You know, you're the next one to carry on the next tablet, and you know, you got to inflate them a little bit. They got to be
100%. The amount of mayo I'm putting on my stories from Canada.
That's cool.
It's unbelievable.
I love it. No, it's
cool. And no one knows as well. They weren't there except Reese. Reese won't say anything. So
nah. Well, you're back now. How's that going at the minute? I know you've only been back a month. Yeah. Itchy feet?
Itchy feet, for sure. Yeah, no, I don't really tell you how it's going to go when you get back. I thought when I was leaving, I'm just going, I've got my mates back home. I'm going to go surprise them. Going to go, like, it'll be fine. We'll just start hanging out again like it's nothing. And then I sort of got home, and I go, it's very it's familiar. It's the most familiar place I know. This is home. Like, grown up, so everything's sort of the same, all the same roads and stuff. But then you sort of go, I've actually haven't been here for 2 years. There's a couple of things that have changed, and I don't have a job. All my mates got big boy jobs now, and they're off doing their own thing. They've got missuses and stuff like that. So, bit weird coming back, not going to lie. I still don't think even though I've been back for a month, I still don't think I've adjusted to it. But that's what happens, I guess.
Time stands still for no one, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, like, it is what it is, and sort of just once I get a job and stuff like that, I'll sort of get back into a bit of routine.
I hope in a way you don't, Josh. I really hope that you don't get settled.
Oh yeah.
I want you to move.
I want to move up with Reese, so
I got a feeling it won't be long. I think you'll just get a little bit of your foot back in the door here just to get a little bit of cash flow, and then
Oh, that is the plan.
once that comes, I think you'll move somewhere that's familiar, because at the moment this is as foreign as fuck for you, and you know that's part of growing up. You know that's part of the bit I do like is as much as you know you've been in this beautiful environment for 2 years and it's now crafted you to where you're going, and you know as a close parent to you, is it's very humbling now to see where you guys go, because I revert back to Caitlin. She's been around Europe twice. She's been on nearly every continent, if not every continent. I would always see it very difficult for you guys just to land here again, because it's difficult for me at nearly 60 after this Europe tour, and now I'm still not back at work now.
Yeah.
Now, thank God it's quiet, because I don't even know whether I'd fit back in. I've turned into a bigger arsehole than when I left, you know, like.
Fair enough.
To see the world, and, you know, there's a lot of places that we've seen that are 400 years AD, and you think, fucking life really isn't that old, is it? Like, if you say we're 2,000 years AD, 2,000 years after Christ, that's not very long. That's only 20 times at 100 years. That's not very long.
Yeah, well, when you say it like that, yeah.
It's not very long, is it? And you're talking about these great big buildings that are still standing pretty plumb. Yeah, you look at Pisa, and you know that was always sinking when they built it, and I think it's now called the Banana Building because they tried to straighten it back up.
Did they actually?
Yeah.
Right.
So I think it's called the Banana Building now. That they knew it was piss, so they couldn't do anything about that. But they've tried to go back the other way to try to get the centrifugal load closer to the middle, so that the right hand side doesn't keep sinking. And no, it was good to see that. It was a crazy place. I didn't like the environment there. There was a lot of people trying to sell you stuff, and
that's sort of everywhere. Everywhere you go now, I reckon that's every tourist town that you sort of go to like that. They're all
a lot of people selling.
A lot of hustlers.
You know?
I've seen that.
If it rained, you got umbrellas. If it was hot, you got a hat. You know?
I've seen that in New York when we went with my family. My goodness, we went.
Did you do a New York trip on this one?
Yeah, when my family came over, we did 5. That's where I met them. So I hadn't seen my family in a year and a half, and then they flew me to New York.
JFK or?
Yes. What's the other one?
The other one in the city's called LaGuardia.
No, it was JFK, I think.
Or the other one was on the other side again, which was called.
I think it was something. I don't think it was JFK. To be honest, I think it was.
Yeah, there's another one on the.
Newport or something.
Could be. Newark.
Newark, yeah, that's where.
Yeah, that's. I think they got 4 international airports in New York.
Of course they do. Yeah, no, we flew into there. We had 5 days before they came back to Canada.
That's on the New Jersey side, so that's on the Hudson River down that way.
Went under the Hudson River and the underpass.
Nice,
yeah.
Beautiful.
But we stayed on the first.
Now you're making me horny.
We stayed in just off of Times Square. Just off of Times Square, in a little dog box there, and that was
42nd Street, Fifth Avenue, somewhere in there.
Something like that, yeah. But we went to Times Square every night just to see the things, and man, the amount of hustlers that they got there.
What month were you there?
What was that? It was May.
Okay, so it was starting to come out of the cold.
It was
just starting
late May, so it was May 25th is when I met them, because my sister's birthday was while we were there. There for 5 days, so it would have been late May, early April. Yeah.
Just keep talking New York. Just keep talking New York for a second. You've gone into Times Square. What did you do in New York for the 1 or 2 days you were there?
Well, we were actually there. We were there for 4 straight days. I didn't realize how much there is to actually do there. Um, we went to, obviously there's the 9/11 memorial. We did that for one whole day. We went to the museum there and the 2 memorials just outside. We went. There's a little church there next to that you can do tours of. So we did that. We did a little bus tour around New York that sort of brought us to everywhere around there. Around New York, sort of your standard New York bus tour with a very lovely, jubbly New Yorkian with the best accent that you can think of. What else did we do? Me and Dad went to a Dodgers game.
All right.
Actually, hell yeah! I actually sent you a photo, Ashman, of the Dodgers. As soon as I got into the stadium, I said I have to send Ashman a video of me at the New York. Is it the Dodgers that you like or the
Yankees?
The Yankees. I think we went to a Yankees game then. Would it have been? It was.
There's New York Mets, which is in Queens.
Yeah.
Which is the what do they call that? The family stadium or something like that. The Yankees are in the Bronx, so they're in line with Manhattan. They're at the
I think we went to the Mets.
New York Mets. Yeah.
I think we went there, but they were playing. Who were they playing? I can't even remember. But I had to send you something saying this is my first dodgeball game for Ashman. I said this is the first person I thought of was Big Ash. I had to fucking.
So the Mets only just failed Monday night. They got beaten by LA Dodgers for the playoff, like for the World Series. So they were looking good. They won 3 in a row, and they looked like they were going to go through.
I reckon
Dodgers beat them. I'm
gonna look this up. I reckon. I can't remember who I versed, but for some reason I reckon that it was.
Could have been the Dodgers, but it could have been plenty others.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Doesn't matter.
I'll get it up in a second, but.
Did you like it? Did you?
Oh, New York was amazing. It's for me, I was like, you go to Sydney in Australia, and you go, there's maybe 3 things to do. You go to the Sydney Opera House, and you see the bridge from there, and then what else is there?
Go out to Manly or go out to
Bondi
Watson's
Beach.
Bay or yeah.
But then we were there for 5 days, and we had something to do every day. We went on a Central Park tour. We went to the
hop on, hop off bus. Yeah, we did.
There was something every day for us to do, and I gone. That's like, it's a real tourist. Like, well, not just tourists, but like, there's just that many things to do in New York. Like, there's pretty much something of everything. But I love New York. Like, to say that I've been to New York and tried all the stuff there, you know.
I'm gonna get one on the back of my neck that says New York Yankees.
Yeah,
and it's going to be on my collar line. So the only time it'll come out with a T-shirt.
Tell me when you do it.
But no, look, it's one of those places. You got Madison Square Gardens where you're talking about the ice hockey before, and
I think that's the
Billy
one
Joel's
place we
playing
didn't go.
there or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Mm.
But it does seem to have something on all the time. I remember Mandy and Reese. I'm not sure. I don't reckon Kato was there. She might have been there, and they went to a show there in Times Square in one of the theatres, and
we went to three Broadway shows there.
There you go. So it was a Friday night, and I said to Mandy, "Look, I don't want to go to the show. I really want to sit in a bar and drink as an Australian bloke in New York on a Friday night." And she said, "Here,
see what happens.
Here's $120. Go and get yourself whacked off." So I went into this place called Virgil's, which was just down on 44th Street. Fifth Avenue, near Times Square there, and I had the fucking time of my life, you know.
So good. So I actually
Another beer,
I
thanks,
wish
mate.
I wish I did the same. Just sit there and go, what's going to happen as an Aussie here on a Friday night in New York? You know.
It was cool, you know. They had the urinals upstairs were the 50-litre kegs cut out. You know what I mean?
That's pretty.
So you'd piss into the keg, you know, and the water would come through the valve on top and flush the urinal through, and you know, sure enough, it go to waste. But man, what a terrific spot! I do like New York. I'm a sucker for it, and they've got into the playoffs now. Friday night, this Friday it starts against
you'll be watching that way out.
the.
Where do they show it here? Do they show it anywhere here, or
Yeah, it'll be on something. I think you've still got to subscribe for it.
do they show it at any pubs or anything?
Don't know. Not sure.
Because you're not at. Are you still at the?
Nah, all done.
No, all done there.
All done.
Yeah, fair.
All done. Time for some fun.
Time for some fun. Fair.
Yeah, it's a fair amount of effort to start there and keep everything going for your own team. And but no, it did its journey. It was good. Yeah, it was good fun all the way through. And you know, once again, you go to war with some of these guys, and that's exactly what it.
And you'd still be
What it's about.
Mates with
I'm still
some
wearing
of
a
them,
grand final wedding ring. You know
Is
what
that?
I mean?
Right, you won that.
2013 grand final. So you know that's worth just over
What were you,
$250,000. You know, it's
Give me a sass of that.
might fit on your thumb.
Doesn't even fit in my thumb.
So yeah, old Joe Balzan made them. They come from Holden's. They come from the Lions Gate. So
Love that.
that's got sign written 2013 premiers on the inside. So that might be off a Commodore or something. Who knows? Who fucking knows? But no, it's a good look. It's a great place. You know, we lived there for nearly a month. You know, in 2 trips, it was cool. In Connecticut was cool, and you know, to see Connecticut was just amazing. You know, it's just a different level. It's your 3-story white window houses with the American flags, and you know, it's that patronage is it's addictive. You know, you want to come here and put your Australia flag up here.
Mate,
you
it
know.
sounds like you need to move to America, mate. I know you've always wanted to.
So yeah, lots of high-rise buildings. It would be good to finish up glazing in there, but yeah, I think everything's prefabricated these days. They just hook them up and put a bolt through, and it's done. It's nothing like it used to be done, but but they're building some incredible towers there. You know, they are around the world as well. If you look at the Emirates and all that through there, that used to be a sandpit not that long ago, and we're only talking 20, 30 years ago. It wasn't what it is now. It's you know, there's places in Africa now that are becoming green. You know, they're not deserts anymore. They've worked out how to re-green things.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You know, there has been a line drawn in the sand since COVID come. I think COVID was deliberately set up just to chop and say, right, we're not doing this anymore. Here's the facts. We've got some things in lots of different areas that aren't what they are. We need to adjust the books. And I think what you're finding now is that people are pushing back and saying, hey, we don't care. We've got here and we had to go through here. But where we are now, we're not going where we were before. We're going into a different direction. And I think you're seeing that across the world. And I think the population is a big dead giveaway that Europe isn't replacing what they're dying. People aren't having babies anymore. If they are, they're having babies a lot later. So you're starting to find that all these countries are starting to diminish now.
Wow.
So that's a new problem. It's it really hasn't been there before. So now you're getting, you know, people are pushing back later and later in life, so that all the figures are adjusting. And
yeah, you start.
I think it's good. You know, there's still some things that you need to hang on to, but at the end of the day, we're not where we were 100 years ago, and we've all got to adjust to it.
grateful and also
Cash is gone. Grateful.
grateful, but also I don't know. It's an what's the word for it? Uncharted territory. You're getting into new scary the old AI and stuff like that. You know that wasn't here 100 years ago. So obviously things are going down, but you got new things coming up like stuff like that. So
We only started flying 110, 20 years ago.
that is pretty fucking crazy.
And you look at the level of planes now that you're flying in. We were lucky enough with Qatar, and they're flying 777s, like new ones, not old ones. But the quality of those things now are incredible.
Oh wow.
It's like an aircraft carrier in the air.
Oh, you could. There's some new planes I've seen designs for that are, they've reduced the amount of seats, so that you can have a little lounge out the back for those long haul flights and stuff like that. And you think, well, some of these airlines are obviously they're maximising. They're trying to grab the most money out of you as they can. They're making the seats smaller, and then there's some people that are making less seats and more things with lounges in the back.
Better quality. Lift the price a little bit, but give something for it.
Yeah, I guess the flights are pretty expensive as they are, though. So you sort
I think the long haul flights, especially with the A380, you can move around. There's a galley down the back of the plane, so you can sit down there physically and stand for 3 or 4 hours. Because sitting for 14 hours, you just can't cut it. It's too long.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. On my flight back home here, it's 14 hours from
Vancouver.
14 and a half from Vancouver straight to Sydney, which is what I had on the way back here, and I passed out for 12 and a half hours.
Did you?
Dead straight on. I almost missed dinner. Was out for about. As soon as I got on the plane, I was out for half an hour. Woke up and there was dinner right next to me. So I woke up literally just in time. Had dinner. Could not wait to get back to sleep. Went back to sleep for another 12 hours. And I was out. I woke up and there was 2 hours to go on the flight. And I've gone, this is the best flight I've ever been on. And I was so scared of going on the flight. I was going, I haven't done a 14-hour flight in 2 years on the way here. So I just went straight out to sleep for 12 and a half hours. And I just didn't move. Didn't get up and even walk around. So I don't know how I fucking did it, but I guess, yeah, I've seen like 3 people that have come up 3 times during the flight on just the 2 hours that I was awake. Come up next to me because I was on an exit row, so got a bit of extra leg room, thanks, Dad.
Does help. Yeah. We did it too on the way back from Doha.
It's worth the money.
I got home feeling good.
Yeah, well, it's worth the money, I think. Just getting that little bit of, I don't know how much you pay on international flights, but probably maybe
even
a
if
couple of $100.
Yeah, a couple of $100 is.
But when you can extend your legs,
your
like
legs.
That, it's just,
if you can't straighten your legs out and get the shit out of your back there, you just feel fucking hopeless, you know.
Yeah. But no, that was good.
Oh, that's good, man. That's really good. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, you did the Iceland's Parkway.
Yeah, one of the best drives.
How good's that to see that
so
one?
So good.
Lake Louise?
Lake Louise, well...
Was it snow or water?
Well, I actually did it twice while I was there.
Good man.
So thank you, Mum and Dad, for coming on a holiday to come see me. So the first time I did it was with all the friends from South Oz. They came and did a trip to Whistler to see us, and then we went on a little two-week road trip in a RV around went to Banff to Jasper, so obviously that little trip.
How beautiful's Banff?
Oh, I love Banff.
Could you could forget about the rest of the world,
I reckon
especially in winter.
I reckon I could live in Banff for sure. That place is just unbelievable.
It's so pretty,
and
isn't
the
it?
community there, it's just a nice little quaint town that, like, you know.
If you died there and had a headstone, you'd be pretty happy, wouldn't you?
Yeah, for sure. But no, so did the trip with the friends in a little RV. So that's like, there was 7 of us in a...
Did look good.
7 of us in a 5-person RV or something like
Was
that.
Reese farting a lot?
Oh, mate, his farts.
He's a fucking machine. It comes from Grandpa.
His farts are terrible.
Yeah.
He was, well, I mean, I probably almost rivaled him for the farts. But
I think he ate a pig in Cambodia that he shouldn't have eaten.
He still hasn't gotten over that pig. It was terrible. But obviously, so we did that in a RV with your friends. So that's obviously an interesting dynamic.
Did you get up to Jasper?
Yeah.
How fucking wild is that place? You could be rocking up in 1876 and it wouldn't look any different.
Yeah.
And the trains are coming in every 15 minutes. They're double story.
Yeah.
And you think, where the fuck is all this stuff going? You know, like.
Yeah. Jasper's a pretty. Yeah. That train station just goes. There's a lot of trucks and everything like that. But no, we did the friend through the ice fields in the RV. That was very interesting. A lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Did you do the white long drop?
The white long drop?
Yeah, with the toilets where they were just a long drop. You know, you just sit back on a fucking can and drop your shit down into the snow. And No, you never did that?
Oh, no, we did that at there was one campsite where they had that.
They still stank like they were in Australia. They were no different.
It's terrible, yeah.
No one's chucking lime on it, so it's just raw sewage.
But I did that, and then my parents came over. We did the exact same route. So with the friends, that was in, can't remember what month that was in, May or something like that. So the snow, still all the lakes are frozen.
Okay, cool.
So then we got to Lake Louise because we went from Whistler up that way. So we went from Jasper to Banff instead of Banff to Jasper. So I seen Lake Louise with snow on it. Walked into the middle of the lake. Dead frozen.
What a crazy feeling that you're sitting on a waterbed and you're sitting there. You're probably walking on a metre of ice and you're thinking.
Well, I actually went in Lake Louise. Did you see that video of me going in? I'll show you. There's a video of me close towards the shallow end of the thing. There's a couple young boys playing on a little iceberg. It's starting to melt at that point when we came.
And you've gone through it.
And so I was testing the waters. So there was a big little ditch, and I've jumped onto an iceberg. I've got onto another iceberg, and then I've fallen through down into the thing. And then all the tourists are watching me, and I've just fallen through, and I'm about in waist deep water, so it wasn't too bad. I knew that it wasn't too shallow where I'd get in trouble. But fell in, and everyone was just laughing at me and stuff like that.
How incredible when you first get there and you can't piss in the resort, right? In the beautiful chalet. There's signs everywhere saying, if you motherfuckers think you want to piss, you're not coming in here. There's a shit pot back in the car park, and you think, oh God, this is crazy. This is so un-Australian. Which we weren't in Australia, but when you walk on the ice there, and you've got that as you're looking down the lake, and you can see this. There's a sign there that says this could be a bit of a tsunami warning. There could be an avalanche here. So.
Avalanche,
if the mountain does let go of the snow, there will be an insurgence of water. So the more and more you see these high lakes, and I never thought about it, but the more and more is that if there is some sort of movement, that you've got a volume of water that wants to move very quickly. So it's really an inland tsunami warning with these lakes, because these lakes are like almost a kilometre deep,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and they're holding X amount of water. So, you know, if you get this massive
Rush of water
rush
down
of
on one side.
avalanche come down into that water, and this water has to disperse what's
Wow,
been put into it.
it's something you got to think about.
So
obviously.
you do put it in your curriculum. You know, that's part of your world knowledge. You know, where you do start learning more outside of the square. You start to, you know, if all the water rushes out to sea, run like fuckers, get up as high as you can.
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, obviously going in the winter, all the lakes are frozen over. So I'm trying to walk on every single lake, and obviously this place. If you've ever been there, it's gorgeous. This drive that you go from Banff to Jasper is just one of the most scenic drives you'll ever go on in your life. So seeing that frozen, and you've got the avalanche warning of like everything's melting. Watch out, you're in an avalanche risk zone just driving along the road. And then when my parents came, it was, I can't remember how much later it was, a couple months later, but it was all in the beautiful time that you see where it's all unfrozen. So I'm seeing everything again for a new time, and I've just gone,
you got
this
the blue water.
I've just gone,
How
wow,
wonderful.
This is just unbelievable. We had we stayed at Lake Louise. So we stayed at the Hotel Fairmont there, at Lake Louise. So we had dinner on the water, basically. Sorry, excuse me, on the water. But the last time I'd seen that it was just dead frozen. So, pretty spectacular. But I'd recommend that drive for anyone in the world really that wants to see something spectacular. That drive from Jasper to Banff is just unbelievable, really.
It is something if you've never seen it is just incredible, isn't it?
Well, yeah, just the mountains in the background, and they're just huge. Like some of them, you just go, "Wow, this is how is this even formed?" Like, it's got snow on the top, and it's got snow all year round, and you go, "Wow, that's."
And there's a couple of different ways back as well, like from up the top there, you know, from Jasper back, you can go a couple of different ways, and to see it is just incredible, you know. Look, I think even when you come back into Vancouver again, you know, as pretty as Vancouver is with, especially in the autumn where you see the trees start to change colour and all that sort of gear.
Yeah.
It's just a wonderful place, isn't it? You know, we went to New Zealand back in April this year, and we did the South Island there, and it was amazing to see the quality of the South Island in regards to the mountains. There was so much down there that was so similar to.
Well, I went
to Vancouver.
I've been to New Zealand three times.
Yep.
And as soon as I got to Canada, I said, "This is it's just a bigger New Zealand."
It is just a bigger version of it.
Like it's just a bigger landmass of New Zealand, but it's very similar vibes. Like the mountains,
big trees,
big mountains, all got snow on them. Like I would say
Mount Cook. We did the Mount Cook walk there.
We did, yeah. We landed on a glacier in Mount Cook actually.
All right, nice.
Did a little helicopter ride, and he said, "If I tell you to get back in the helicopter, you get back in the helicopter." Because we landed, and it was about 5 minutes. He said, "All right, time to go," and it was like risk of falling off the side of this thing. So
not good.
But I was 11 at the time, and we were throwing the snowballs on the top of Mount Cook. So I can't complain with that. So had that experience.
It was incredible. I was surprised how well it does batter above its weight. It's that island down there is incredible. It is just pristine.
It's gorgeous. It's the closest thing to.
What about
to
all
Canada?
all the big hedges down there? You've got all the trees
Yeah.
to try to stop the wind. So you might have something like 200 metres of trees in a line that are 25 metres high.
New Zealand.
Yeah, in the South Island.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to Manny, it's got to be the wind. It's got to be the wind. It's
Try it.
got to try to deflect the wind from just blowing through and smashing everything, which it probably would do.
The weather does
Being so low
down there, being a little bit lower. You expect that, obviously,
But yeah, I'm going for a whiz in a minute. But no, it's the next one that I did want to talk to you about. Also, was going back to your snowboarding. That there is apparently a fairly decent trip to Japan coming up in the new year, maybe around March or April. Do you reckon you might get on that one?
I'm rubbing my fingers. I'm hoping.
Have you been to Japan?
I've never been to Japan. I think it's on my bucket list now. Once you.
They're saying the snow is very clean, like some amazing amount of powder there that's incredible, but it doesn't. Obviously, there's not the amount of trees as you get in Canada.
They still get trees. It's just different. It's different types of trees. It's like
The geography's all different somehow.
Yeah. So yeah.
Keep talking.
No, I'm very keen to go to Japan. Hopefully, me and Whitey are going in early March, maybe late February. We're going, hopefully, all around just to go snowboarding now that we've got the little travel bug for snowboarding. So, but yeah, they say that the snow's very clean there. It's just there's so much powder that they get. Compared to somewhere in like maybe Whistler, I don't want to use Whistler. The snow is very good in Whistler, so you can't really complain. But that's all the snow that I've had. But when you don't get a lot of powder consistently, it turns icy and it turns a bit bumpy and choppy and stuff. I think Japan gets lots of powder, so the snow is pretty clean. It's just because it's more consistent and stuff like that. So, yeah, hopefully me and Whitey are getting over there to snowboard in late February, early March. So I just need money. So if anyone on the Milton Road Studios audience wants to donate,
We might have to do some sort of sponsorship, I reckon.
maybe a sausage sizzle, Bunnings sausage sizzle or something like that, just to get me across the line. But no, we're hopefully going. In my head, I said I'm going for sure.
We'll get some sort of.
We've been planning it.
I'll give you some sort of sponsorship to make sure you get there anyway, buddy.
We've been planning it for a while, so hopefully I'm gonna get across there and go. But yeah, Japan is on the next thing. I think once you do Canada, obviously I haven't even done really much of the Australian snow, but you do Canada snow, and then you sort of get especially if you're a keen snowboarder, you get the bug for
I think if you get the
best snow.
If you get the gist of where you are, you look at Kosciuszko's 2228 metres. So if you times that by 3, 246, barely 7,000 feet. And if you look at the topography or geography of where that is compared to Whistler, is a little bit higher again on that northern hemisphere, but from the equator up or the equator down, there's a snow line there that you're in, and this year was terrible. This was the worst. 1981 in Australia was terrible, and I reckon this year was on par with how bad that was.
Wow.
And what's that? 81, 91, 01. That's 20, 40. What's that? 40 years. Fuck, that makes you old, doesn't it? 40. I remember skiing there in 82.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a bad year here. I think Mount Buller barely got any snow.
This year.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Well,
And they're talking El Nino next year, so which will be either cold oceans and warm. It works in reverse somehow, but yeah. All good, yeah, go for it. So go near the green bin, mate. Just smile at the neighbour. But yeah, no, look, I hope that you can get enough cash there to get yourself off to Japan as well, and meet up with the gang again, and try to get a little bit more fun in your tank there, and try to go and experience as much as you can. I think that once again, going back to this new world order, that the population is dropping, people aren't having as many babies. I think it's the whole attitude's changed, that people want to have fun. They don't want to be tied down to ugly mortgages that hold you down for 25 years, at least 25, 30 years, where you're governed by your work. And, you know, if you could do all your time again, you'd want to spend as much time away with your family and friends doing what you want rather than working for the man. I know we all got to do it, and it's part of the process. We do give up 4 years at some stage to do an apprenticeship or do some sort of internship to get you to the point where, you know, you've done your 4 years to earn enough money to try to give yourself some sort of steady money coming in, so the banks like you. But I think that's all changing. I think that, you know, yes, we all do need money and to exist, but at the end of the day, I think we can do that better where we're not just going to work to exist. And I think that's probably 85% of the population is in that basket.
Well, yeah, just money at the moment. Just need something coming in so I can, not that I need a lot, but something so I can go on my next adventure, really.
That's right. That's where you need to go.
Yep.
Life after Whistler. That was my second last question for you, mate.
Well, I don't know, really. The world's your oyster here.
Music. You've got music. You've got travelling history. You've got a great smile. You've got a great personality. The world is still your oyster, isn't it?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, what's next? Where do you go? What's next?
Well, I don't know, because if I end up going to Japan, then that'll be, 3 weeks. I'll come back to Adelaide again, and I'll go, what the hell am I doing here again? So, don't really know. I thought when I went to Canada, maybe I would find my lifelong passion and goal and stuff like that.
I think you've found a type of life that you're very comfortable with. You're
100%.
You're a free agent. You're one of those persons, I believe, that looks for fun. You create the fun in the room. To me, back in Adelaide, you're just going to hold yourself back. So I think it's a place to come and go from, and I think that that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I hope that you do go again. I think you need to go again. I think you're far too young to try to just exist here in Adelaide. I would love you to have the ability to move around the world and find your niche. If it's only 15, 20 grand or whatever you need to let you go for another 2 years or whatever the figure is, I don't know what the figures are anyway. But if there's X amount a year just to fuck off and go and see the world, there's a whole load of world out there. And, you know, this recent trip to me has opened my eyes up again, even worse in America and even worse in New York. I'm now just a savage. I just I feel 24 again, you know, like, you know, when you go away, you eat better, you walk more,
Yes. Yeah.
You do all those things. You know, you come back almost leaner than when you left, and you come back with a really good attitude. If you could bottle that up, I believe that's what you're chasing is that fucking journey that
Something along the lines of that. Yeah.
puts that step back in your step, you know, and
I've always like I never thought until this trip to Canada that I would even move away. I was always gotta do something here that's gonna thing. But this trip to Canada's really opened my eyes up to what's out there, and obviously it doesn't have to be a the typical travel till you die, like just go everywhere just for the sake of it. But I want to do something that's gonna make an impact on people's lives and stuff like that. But that might take me to all ends of the earth. Like might take me
I hope it does.
Somewhere else. Somewhere and it could take me anywhere. So.
You know, the beauty too, Josh, is that you've got that ability to walk into a room, bit like Kerry used to have, is that you light the place up.
Mm.
You've got those skill sets where you can grab a guitar or a piano and you can make that room buzz. That is your gift.
As long as you know piano, man.
And I think that if you can use that gift in the world wherever you go, that's your oyster, mate. That's you know, yes, we all want the solidarity of having a house and family and kids, and you know, you've got time.
I always wanted that, but I don't know if that's me. I don't reckon. Might be, but
never say never. But at the end of the day, I think that there's a lot of life out there. There's a lot of influences from different countries that actually manufacture the man, and I think there's a little bit more for you to see, and for all of us, not just you. You know, there's a lot. And as I said, this last trip that we've just been on as well is one of those trips where you go, wow, you know, like, you know, there's a lot more out there than
I know what you mean.
Than the northeast. You know what I mean? But
no.
But look, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you've done the 2 years overseas. I am so proud that you've done it with both the Reeses as well, and your new buddies as well, which I think is just as important as that. And I say that sincerely. That's the camaraderie is forever. You know, it doesn't matter where you see these people again in the world. Do you remember when? Yeah, I fucking do. You know, like, and that's the gold that makes the man, and that takes you into the future.
100%.
Josh Atkinson.
Nice, man. Big handshake.
Good to see you here, bro. You're back.
It's good to be back.
You're back at Acco's Hut, and it will always remain Acco's Hut here while I'm still here. And what I might do, we're just about on the 2 hour mark. We might wind this one up now.
That's all right.
And we've got a couple of beers left to have a bit of a chin wag afterwards. But I'm glad you're back safely. I know your mum and dad would be very humble that you are back in town.
Yeah, they love it.
I know your dad's playing too much golf.
Way too much golf.
At the end of the day, thank you, Acco.
No, thank you much, man.
It is my pleasure to know you, and hey, you're a fucking legend, buddy, and your stories are getting bigger and better each time I meet you, so...
Love it, Ash, man. Thank you for having me on the podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Glad to have you here face-to-face in a West End drive together, so...
Let's go.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thanks, Ash, man.
This has been a Milne Road Studios production. Love you, Echo.